Hello. Okay, at least the audio is working. Um, we're already miles ahead over where we were yesterday at this time, where we were not working much of anything. We are live with our Expos YouTube series. Um, how are we doing? How are we doing? Hope everyone is having a lovely afternoon. I do want to check one thing. And that's, so bear with me for just a second. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to change it. I tried to change a setting here, so I need to look at my camera. Can we? How do I mirror? Hey, what I want to do? That was the wrong button. Um, all right. That didn't actually do anything. I'm a little worried. Okay. If you're just joining, I am doing some tech support. Um, Unfortunately, it's involving me having to learn how to use my camera hardware. Um, that did not help. All right, let's go back. Let's, that didn't do shit. Um, we might just move it back over to the other side. I do not know how to mirror my camera. I tried it and it didn't work. Well, I know how to flip it. And now my camera's gone. What I'm trying to do is mirror this so that way I can, but I don't know how to mirror my camera. This is going well, y'all. I promise I used to know what I was doing at one point. By the way, I have facial hair now. I don't know if y'all can see that. Ah, that's scary as hell. All right, we're going back to default settings for just a minute. I apologize in advance for what you're looking at. It's way too dark light for me. Let me go to Elgato Camera Hub. What if I just deactivate I'm gonna deactivate my camera real fast. Okay. Mirror my camera. Let me do it. Okay, that's right. So let's see if that worked. No, so if I look here, like if I look right here at my screen, the way my camera's oriented, it's gonna, yeah. Man, this sucks. All right, we'll move you back to the left. We ain't got time to deal with this shit today. So we're gonna move you over here. We'll put you kind of right. Actually, let's put you down here. We don't use the owner goals. We're gonna put you kind of down on the screen a little bit, and then we're gonna move. Is that in a weird spot? It kind of is. Or should I go in the bottom right? I can't go bottom, like, shit. Okay. Anyways, hi y'all. Hi y'all. Hopefully that's not blocked. I want to check something now on Twitch. I want to see something. I apologize in advance for what y'all are having to look at. Okay. I'll fix that for the next stream. How about that? We'll fix that for the next stream. We'll put it down there for today. Anyways, here's the goal for today. We are we're gonna start the off season, and I think it's eerie as hell everything being quiet. I kind of want to play music, but I'm also simulcasting on YouTube, so that's not gonna really work well for me now, is it? Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and look at the off season. We've already looked at the draft pool last time. We looked at the draft pool. Oh, here, let me do one more upgrade here real fast. Yeah, it seems like for whatever reason, let's turn that down to 250. Ooh, you know what? That does need to run a little higher, doesn't it? Let's go to 400. And do 500. There we go. Okay. So last time we were here, we looked at we kind of did the end of the season. The Boston Red Sox are the World Series champion. So what we're going to do is go ahead and start the offseason. Let me make sure all my audio sources are good too, like on my end. It looks like everything is working just fine. Looks like we're sorting databases and stuff. We just finished our, I think, 4th year. Okay, we did a good job. We went 79 and 83. We have an average reputation now. That doesn't really mean anything. All right, so let's look at the emails. All right. Loyalty is an increase to average. This is excellent news. Let's look at the new budget. 4.2 million. The team payroll will be around 4.4. We'll set ticket prices automatically. Our contract has been extended. Prospect wise, I don't think we have anyone in the top 10. Doesn't look like it. There's the top prospects. I don't like look. Let's look at the top minor league systems. We have the 4th best minor league system with 5 prospects in the top 75. The only 2 teams that are better are Cleveland and San Francisco and Minnesota. As you can see, it looks like the Giants are very similar. So it looks like the top 2 teams just have a lot. Our top prospect right now is Willie Randolph. He will very likely start somewhere in AA next year. Hey, he struggled a little bit in A-ball. Let's keep him down in A-ball for a little bit, and we'll get him up to AA before we know it. We probably want to develop him a little bit with his ability to overall batting average, because otherwise he's just going to be like a 290 hitter. We want him to hit 300. Dave Edwards is in AA. He is a very fine prospect with quite a good profile that we want to develop. He was our 4th round pick a couple of years ago. Looks like he struggled a little bit in A-ball. We probably need to send him back to A-ball. He probably needs to stay in A-ball for another year, but he's got very good tools. He's going to be a corner outfielder eventually. Maybe we just go ahead and move him there. Mark Stoner, a very good first base prospect. Got a lot of power. Not the best defender right now. Can play first or second, maybe third in a pinch, but he doesn't have the arm strength to play third base. We gave him some at-bats at the major league level. He went 1 for 5. Nothing to write home about. But he did really well in AAA with a 379 on base, 469 slugging. The average isn't much to write home about, but his quality of contact is very good. Could be a decent power hitter eventually at 21 years old. Jose Gill. Honestly, not my cup of tea, to be honest. He's 22. We picked him up in a trade at the end of last season. He pitched 50 innings in AA with a 1.75 ERA and 33 games. Cross, hello. How are you today? Cross, hello. How are things going? Hope everything's well. Hope my audio and all that is working normally. It might be a little... Okay, it's about mid. Let's see. And then Andy Hassler. Another probably eventual relief prospect. He did make 30 starts for a AAA team. So, and a lot of strikeouts. Gonna be a good ground ball pitcher. He needs to work on his ability to limit hits, but okay. Off season begins. A bunch of words. Facilities are open. Let's look at this real fast. I wish I could go to the Let's go to the development lab. Let's go to the development lab. We're gonna go here. Let's go to the practice facility. So we can make a bunch of players better. We have a really good team. And look at this. He's a 5-star player now. Holy cow. We got to get this guy some appearances next year. He's going to end up being the best reliever in baseball when we get him properly developed. Let's see. Caldwell, fan favorite. I don't think we want to send him. He's pretty much maxed out on everything. So there's really no point in sending him into development. Let's see. Jimmy Wynn is older. Let's see. Catfish Hunter is... I'd like to get him to work on his control a little bit. He did do a very good job of limiting home runs. He did lead the National League in total walks. That's not ideal. That probably led to the 10-17 record. What we could either get him to movement or control. Movement or control is what we would develop with good old Catfish Hunter. I'm gonna make one more change. I think y'all are seeing way too much. Nope, that's about right. Okay, I don't know why. Maybe I'm just sitting so far back from the camera. That's probably it. Y'all are seeing way too much of my bedroom, which is, I guess, not the worst thing ever, but okay. Let's go back. I'm trying to put some players. Let's see. Larry Kleem. Let's get him in because he's good enough to pitch in the big leagues. Like, he's got 3.5-star rating, 3.5 stars potential, 95 stuff, fly ball pitcher, but it looks like he profiles. We need to get him. We need to work on his movement or control. Okay, movement or control. So let's see what his. He doesn't have the best work ethic, but I'm gonna give him some run anyways. Let's get. We can either do control or movement. I think it would be easier to get. I think an increase in movement would be the best move. Okay. Let's see. What about Doug DeCences? He's got a little bit of work to do. I think we got to get him. One of the things, by the way, that we're going to focus on for the offseason is getting him at first base. So we got to acquire a third baseman, which now makes one of Jimmy Wynn, Willie Stargell, or Rusty Staub. Makes one of them expendable. One of these guys is now expendable. I'm thinking it'll be Pops. He did not have the greatest season for us. He went from basically a noticeable dip in performance. He is 32. But we got to trade somebody if we want to move Doug DeCences to first base. He's an okay third baseman, but he's a really good first baseman. He's got a good frame for it. Is there anything he can? Honestly, we could get him to work on maybe contact or something, maybe eye or contact. Let's see. Let's send him in the development lab. Let's see what we can do. Let's learn plate discipline. There we go. Hopefully, let's see, Figueroa, Mora, Pierce, Amiotti. Honestly, with his ability to spot start and his lack of control, let's send him in. We got to get him to work on control. And then, let's see. Do we want to do anything with Royal Stillman? I kind of do, actually. I kind of want to increase his contact, his ability to get on first base through BABIP. He's a good defender, good batting eye. I don't really care about his power because he's going to be my leadoff hitter. I want him to be my leadoff hitter. Let's see what we can get him to work on. Let's see. Increase their home run. We don't want him to hit more home runs. Quality of contact. This is going to be a difficult one. We'll do that. What's his relationship with our hitting coach? What is his relationship with our hitting coach? Poor. Well, that's not going to help. All right, so let's actually cancel that one. Can we cancel that one? Because he's not going to respond to it. Let's do that. As much as we want to get him developed, he's not going to. Mark Stoner. Let's get developed Mark Stoner up. Because he could be a first baseman. We could use him as trade fodder. Let's develop him up and use him as trade fodder. I think we need to increase probably quality of contact. Prospects. We'll look at our prospects for the last couple spots. We've already looked at Larry Kleem. I mean, a lot of these guys, just a matter. I might just work on their control a little bit. Proof control. And then Grover Ellis can also improve his control. There. What I'm kind of hoping is if these guys improve their control, it'll help us out tremendously. Okay. We looked at the draft pool last time. Let's vote. We don't need to vote for any awards. I kind of don't care about that. I could be a jerk and vote for all my guys, if that's available. I mean, any vote other than Richie Hebner would be stealing, wouldn't it? But you know what? Or even Don Sutton with a 20 win. I noticed that 10 WAR leading the National League. 20 wins, 300 innings, whip under 1. All good stuff. But how is he a 6-win player? Probably defense. Yeah, probably defense. I'm not going to vote for this. Oh, we could do our own award voting. All right, we won't worry about that. Okay, let's check development complex. We just did that. Let's go ahead and sim a week because we're not going to do anything this week. So we'll just go ahead and sim a week. And we'll check in on player development. All right, still under assessment. So we probably got another 3 weeks to look at that. So we will probably just go ahead and sim another week. Let's look at the trading block. Now that that's here. It looks like it's Gaylord Perry's on the trading block. A little bit on the older side, so I don't think I'm going to trade for him. But he would be an interesting addition. I'm going to look at, let's see, Frank Howard in Minnesota's on the trade block again. We had him last year. He was fine. We're not going to trade for him back. Glenn Beckert in San Diego would be a nice backup first baseman, but again, we don't need first base. I want to take a look at Dick Dietz, who I believe we don't know. He's a pure left fielder. He is a pure left fielder. He played half a year last year. It looks like he may have been either injured or on the bench. Looks like the Giants have a lot of players on the block. So does Minnesota. Obviously, I think these are the teams that are kind of cap strapped. So, looking at my rotation, we can look at it real fast. I'm fine with my rotation right now, except for Jim Barr. So we could potentially make this trade. We could throw Jim Barr into a trade with them. Maybe even like a Ken Brett, who isn't the best. He's got some decent movement ratings, but his stuff is really good. He's probably best as a reliever at this point in his career, being that control is a little suspect. Yeah. So I'm thinking right now, Jim Barr is going to be on the trade block for us, but I don't think we could see what they would swing to in a trade for Gaylord Perry. So let's see what we could make. Okay, so he's a 10-5, so he's not going to be traded. So they put a player on the trade block they're not going to trade. I'm wondering. Probably the same here. No, he's only got 6 years experience. So he's someone we could get, but unfortunately he doesn't have enough position flexibility, and we've got a bit of a logjam at left field right now. So he wouldn't fill a need. Frank Howard we had last year. Cleon Jones from San Diego. It looks like San Diego is making some trades. Pretty good defensive outfielder. He was a waiver claim. He would his outspoken player attribute, so he's not someone we would take a look at. Pepitone we've had. He was a decent player for us. Let's see, Adolfo Phillips. He's a slow learner. The gap power could be something we could use. He did lead the National League in doubles, but not really a whole lot there to like either. At 30, we'll probably see him. Let's see. Bill Hands. Not a fan. Jim Cott out in San Francisco, another lefty who was okay. Being a little older too. Let's see. Ron Hunt, a first baseman with no power. Ideally, I would find someone who could play third base. Let's look at third base. Yeah. Glenn Beckert, below average third baseman. Ken McMullen, decent third base prospect, but quite frankly doesn't bring anything to the table, except he could be a platoon. He could be a platoon, but I'm not really looking for a platoon. So it looks like if we're going to make any moves, it's going to have to be, wait. Oh, they've actually dropped his potential down to 3 stars. I'm wondering if position. I'm going to switch his position real fast, see if that helps anything. Not really. That is interesting. We'll put him back at third for now. Yeah, I'm going to pop Willie Stargell onto the trade market. Let's put him on the block. Because Rusty Staub is a below average right fielder. Let's look at out left field. We also have Don Buford. Honestly, I might move on from him as well. He was basically replacement level. We'll put him on the block. Because Lazinski can play first, and he had a really good year for us. I personally don't know if it can be replicated, but he did have a decent... he is a platoon guy, though. He is a platoon guy. Yeah. Dave Arrington in the last 2 years in the minors has hit 60 home runs. He's about ready. And Rogozinski finished strong, so we've got some holes to cover. And he can play the outfield. He's a solid left fielder. So we've got enough holes now that we can start like trading people away. Center field. Obviously, Royal Stillman, I would want to be the guy because of his defense. It might just be a platoon situation there if he's really bad, because we can always use Dave Arrington against lefties if his bat ever develops. It's going to have to. He hit a little bit of a down year, but he also played a little bit in the majors. He's not going to hit for much average, so he's going to have to figure out the power. I don't think much of Dave Arrington, so and the other player I'm going to put on the trade block, we're going to go ahead and put Jim Barr on the trading block. He doesn't make that much. We probably need to put one of Figueroa or Phil Necro on the trade block. Just from like a money standpoint, but let's look at our money situation real quick. Let's go to front off. Yeah, we only have about 680K left, so we can't go we can't go exuberant with with trades. We have a bit more budget room than we've had, though. We have almost a $5 million budget. But we only have about $600K left for, so we gotta offload some salary. So what I'm thinking about doing, and we don't have to offload too much, but let's go ahead and put Phil Necro on the block. Actually, do I want to put? We could either put Phil Necro or we're gonna. Well, Jim Barr's already on there because he's not gonna like. I really think we're gonna put him on the block. And then maybe either one of Caldwell. I feel like Caldwell is going to be a good pitcher for me. He's been good the last 2 years. I kind of want to keep him around at 24, but he makes a lot of money. And then I think we're going to put. I'm just going to put Phil Necro on the block for now. And then we can take a look at some of these other salaries. None of them make a terrible amount. And then we'll go back to lineup. Let's go to default. Yeah, if I haven't put him on here already, I'm going to go ahead and put Willie Stargell on the block. We're going to go ahead and try to trade him again. So we're going to make some moves. We're going to try to do some addition by we're going to try to do some addition from by subtraction. So we put a few guys on the block. We put Don Buford and Willie Stargell. We're just trying to offset some money. Also want to look at my catching situation. We haven't really looked at it too much over the years, but we got 3 guys who are basically the same. Duffy Dyer, Echebarren, who's probably still the best catcher, and then Fred Kendall, who had a strong year in AAA, but still not really the type of offensive player I would want. At a 307 on base. All right, let's go ahead and sim another week. We'll look at some of these. All right, so we got to replace our third base coach. So let's go ahead and do that. And I really think a move I might make here. First off, let's go ahead and let's go development. Since I'm looking for a third base coach, I don't think Chris Davis is necessarily the answer. He's been a manager the last 5 years. Or he's a head coach. Maybe we make some moves. So let me look at my roster. Let me look at my team home screen and front office staff roles. Oh. All right, so we probably need someone who's excellent or above at. Yeah. We got to get someone who's a little better at development. on the staff. Walter Alston is a manager, so we're not gonna. Unfortunately, the only one that I have that would be any good at like. Adrian Hand would be a manager more than anything. He's a hitting coach, actually. Been a hitting coach for the last 3 years with the Reds. How is my hitting coach doing? Not interested in being a manager. Andre McClellan's not a base coach. What about mechanics? Average, but he's pitching fair average. We might have to go to the OK route and maybe just go ahead and get Bert Delmas. So we'll just offer him. And that's fine. Trading block hasn't changed. Willie Horton's here. Led the American League in home runs the last 2 years for RBIs. He also led the American League in slugging. I don't like his attributes. And he doesn't really solve anything. We'll probably just simulate to the winter meetings because right now there's really not. The trade market is not that great for us right now. All right. So Bert Delmas likes our offer. So, all right. So Bert Delmas will be our third base coach. We still have about $680,000 to spend. We made quite a bit of money last year. Let's check out our development right now. Everybody's frustrated except for Grovedale. He's on track. So this is not the best development we want to see, but that's fine. All right. We're gonna go ahead and do the player draft. So first we'll look at the trading block, see if it's changed. Willie Horton Gillard, Perry, all these players were there a while ago. Bob Locker is here, but we don't need relief pitchers. Especially not a 34 really old. Jack Hyatt, we don't really need a catcher at the moment. He would be an upgrade over who we have, though. He's also 30, and he's not a great defender. So, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and sim through first year player draft. So we looked at this a while ago. The top players are Eddie Murray, Barbin Yount, Fred Lynn, Jack Clark, Dennis Eckersley, John Candelaria, Pedro Guerrero, Ellis Valentine, Gary Reinke, and Mondefusco, who I don't think was a real player. But I think some of these players weren't real players, just by look of things. So let's just go ahead and go to the first year draft. We'll look at the draft pool. We took a look at some leader abilities high. If we look at potential, it looks like Dennis Eckersley, Fred Lynn are going to be the top ones. We have one personality trait. Well, we know it's Larry Saska. Looking at the default, we can look at signability. Going here. We could sign Dennis Eckersley, easy. Fred Lynn would be an easy sign. Would be a real good get for us. If we were to get him, I don't think we will, but he would start right in the outfield. My draft, we picked 12th. Lynn Barker is going to be the guy. Looks like a pretty good pitcher. I probably wouldn't make a move on him. He is a big guy with a big, good fastball. We'll scroll down so you can see. Lynn Barker's mock to us at 12. We picked 12 in round 1, and then I think for every other round we pick about 10th. There's been some comp picks. So we'll go here. We picked 12th. We have a budget of about $39,000 for our first pick. So I think we should just go ahead and start the draft. I'm going through this a little faster today. So we're going to go ahead and start draft. We're going to auto draft for Milwaukee. They take Fred Lynn, of course. Pretty much everybody agrees the best player in the draft. He's already a 5-star player. He started for Boston for many years, and then they shipped him out to California when he got a little older and was still really good. So Fred Lynn went number 1. San Diego drafts, and they draft Dennis Eckersley, another Hall of Fame pitcher. He made it up by 1975. He's 18 right now. And he was a starter who ended up in the bullpen later in his career. He was a decent starter for a while. And then once they put him in the bullpen, Oakland put him in the bullpen once he hit his 30s. He kind of lost it a little bit. And then he became one of the best relievers of all time. Pretty much for the remainder of his career. So he ended up with Boston in 98, where he was still functionally good. So another good pick. Number 3 will go for the California Angels. They picked the Count Mondefusco. 5 really good pitches. He pitched for a few teams, actually. I thought this was a fake player, but apparently it's not. He didn't have the best career ever. He only pitched 1,600 innings, making kind of a not a great run, but he ended up playing for the Giants and the Yankees predominantly. So we'll see how he develops in this game. The New York Yankees are on the clock, and they will take Robin Yount, Hall of Fame shortstop, pretty good player already. He played for the Brewers for pretty much his whole career. In fact, he came up almost right away. He played 1 year in the minors. Yeah, no stats. He played 1 year in the minors and went straight to the big leagues. Minnesota's up. They take Eddie Murray. He played for a very long time, starting in 1977, and then was really good in the 80s with the Orioles. Had a strong year with Cleveland in 95, probably one of the best teams in that didn't win a World Series, the 95 Indians. He ended up playing for the Dodgers, and he actually was not great, but he ended up, he was good up until 96, really. Even at 39, he still had a solid OPS. All right, Pittsburgh's up, and draft board still looks good. They draft Candyman Candelaria, another pitcher. He actually played for Pittsburgh. He played until 93. He played primarily for Pittsburgh, and he played a little bit for a few other teams. Had 170 wins. Not the best career ever, but he wasn't a flop. All right, and now it is Detroit's go. We're going to sim all the way up to our pick. Mike Krukow. Interesting choice. Low ceiling, it looks like. High ceiling. Or high floor, I'm sorry. He's already got played for the Giants for the back half of his career. Cubs and Giants with a year in Philly. Not a great player, but good enough. He still carved a good career for himself. Let's see. Houston takes Pedro Guerrero, 4.5-star prospect. OSA loves him. Played for the Dodgers for pretty much his whole career. 300 career hitter. All right. Cubs take Dave Winfield. Of course, Dave Winfield, another Hall of Famer. If my memory serves me correct, he never played in the minors. He played for a few teams in his career, most notably the Yankees and the Padres. Atlanta's up. They take Len Barker. And Chicago will take Jack Clark who is played for the Giants for many years. So it's going to be Argo when we get back. So we've got some interesting options. Roy Howell's here. He's in budget. He's got some good attributes. Might be about ready for the big leagues. And then we got some pitchers that might be about ready. And then we got some guys that might have some development. So I'm going to figure out what I want. We're going to run some ads to pay the bills. That way we can make a little bit of money off this. I'll be back in 3 minutes once the ads finish up. and we will continue the first year draft. We are back from ads. Hello. We're back. All right, so I'm kind of looking at the draft. As much as I like this guy, he doesn't really have anything I want. He actually was a real life draftee, but I'm really thinking about getting someone with a little bit of a higher floor. So, maybe even someone like Dick Ruthven. But again, I'm not the biggest fan, particularly of his middling control. Even Roy Howell at third base here could be an interesting get for us here. But again, I would rather have high work ethic than high intelligence. But he has high intelligence at least. And then let's go with Eric Rasmussen. Honestly, this might be my pick. I might just go the conservative route here and draft Eric Rasmussen. But even though, honestly, I would probably rather have, let's look at the overalls. I can get kind of an older pitcher, or I can get Roy Howell. I think that's where my brain is right now. Or we can get Dick Ruthven. I might get Dick Ruthven here just because, again, he kind of fits the ethos of what I want to do a little bit more. Kind of more ground ballish pitcher. Could develop the control. I don't love that he doesn't have a great personality class right now. And he would only sign for $3,500. Renke is not one, and then also I feel like if I take Roy Howell, I'm kind of stuck with a below average third baseman who is good across the board actually. So this might actually be the pick. He's going to have to develop his defense a little bit. He is a third baseman, but he's only projecting out to be a 45 overall defensively. And that bothers me a little bit. And it's not like the scouting agency likes him all that much better. Let's see what my scouting director thinks. Scouting director thinks we should go with the top player on the board. I actually don't agree with this just because I would rather not have only attributes being low here. That feels like the correct pick, but I'm actually going to go with I might go with Roy Howell. Just go ahead and take the guy who's the most developed. See how he does. We'll probably start him in Double-A, move him up. And then we can move Doug DeCensus to first next year. Yeah. Or maybe we go for, or maybe we go with an older starting pitcher, but I like all this, but I think drafting batters is the way to go. So we're going to take Roy Howell here. We're going to draft Roy Howell of California. We're going to go ahead and draft him. And then we're gonna auto draft until we have the pick. And now Obviously, now it's like, okay, where do we go from here? It's all relievers. We don't need that. What about Francisco Barrios? So obviously, we got to think outside the box a little bit here. Let's see the scouting record. They recommend David Clyde. He's a starting pitcher. Very similar to a couple players we looked at in the last round. I do like him, but OSA pretty much is in agreement. A little bit here and there. He is 17, but I kind of don't want to draft that young a pitcher. Recommended slot is only 10K, so we would go above slot for him. I don't want to draft relievers. He is probably one of the top pitchers left. Rick Bosetti. Being an introvert, I don't think that'll hurt him too much, but again, that's not really. Let's see. Let's see what Terry Harper. A little on the greedy side, but he won't slot. What about Butch Hobson? High work ethic, low financial ability. Guy could be a pretty good player at any corner position. Got some good power. Not the best batting eye, so I will pass on him for right now. Let's see. Randy Lurch. That's a no. We won't even consider Randy Lurch. What about Steve Nicosia? Not the best defensive catcher. So when I'm considering catchers, I do want to look at their defense primarily. I don't think, with his hitting tools, he'll probably end up in left field. I would draft him as a left fielder, not a catcher. Going down the line a little bit, let's see. Let's go with, I kind of want to take some guys who have a little bit more of a, like Joe Simpson. Wait, is this the, isn't this, we could draft Joe Simpson as a meme. He's, by the way, this is the Braves, I think this is the Braves announcer. If I'm not mistaken. He did play with Don Sutton, and that checks out. So, let's see. Mike Squires, high intelligence. First baseman with no power, so we'll pass on him. Jim Sundberg. Intriguing catching ratings. Low adaptability. The hitting could be. Maybe we'll pass on him too. Randy Tate. Probably the last player we'll consider. And he's got the highest ceiling probably of these guys. But I think I'm going to go the safe route. I think I might actually take David Clyde here. Or I just go and take, well, or I take Butch Hobson. I take Butch Hobson and hope he can develop into, but he's someone who would, he's going to be a low average, high, we're not going to do that. I think I'd rather have, I would take Garth Iorg and turn him into a second baseman before I did that. Or do I take Steve Nicosia and put him in? If I'm going to do that, I might as well draft. What about Rick Bosetti? Very good outfield defender. Could be someone who could hit a little. Be a nice fourth outfielder. But I don't want to waste a pick on a fourth outfielder. Let's go to work ethic filter. I still say we take a chance on Butch Hobson here. Or maybe even on Ken Kravick. Well, fly ball pitcher with already 4 good pitches, middling control. So let's actually clear filter. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go David Clyde here, lefty. He's 17. We don't know how this pick will work, but we'll go ahead and draft him. He has a $12,000 thing. All right, let's look at the scouting director recommendation. They recommend Steve Swisher, catcher, bad attributes, so that's going to be a no from us. So we're going to have to draft this one ourselves. Terry Harper would be a good one, but he's got a pretty he's got a lot of work to do. So we're not going to worry about that. We're going to draft someone with a little bit higher, little bit more going on. Let's go with the recommended slot is 5K. So Luis Aponte, high work ethic, high intelligence, pretty much good across the board. Could develop some stamina. A little early to start drafting relief pitchers, so he'll be there a while. Doug Alt is a no. Dell S. Alston, pretty intriguing actually. We don't know anything about his personality. Could be an above average defender at 4 positions with a little bit of pop. And honestly, that's probably Eddie Bain, borderline starter. Not a lot to like there. Melvin Barrow. Tell you what, I really like Melvin Barrow here. This guy's going to be a defensive ace. The defensive numbers are already there. Base running. He's got good work ethic. He's got a high leadership. He's not much of a hitter, unfortunately, but he can play. He's a good defender. He's an above average defender, potentially, or an average defender at least, in 2 prime defensive positions. His ratings are pretty good, except for he's a little bit shaky with the outfield glove, but he's already above average defensively. Let's see, Randy Bass, not a fan. Let's see, Ted Cox, not a man. He can play every position, just none of them well right now. Yeah. Todd Cruz probably won't sign, but he's at least got some average hitting. Could play third or short at a really good level. A little greedy. Mike Dimmel or Dimel, pretty mediocre. Let's see, Blake Doyle, Manny Estrada. Remember, they're recommending we take Steve Swisher, the college catcher. Charles Howell. much there. I'm really thinking Melvin Barrow here. Or, yeah, maybe I'm really thinking Melvin Barrow. Like, he'll sign for pennies. So I think that's going to be the move. We're going to sign Melvin Barrow. Okay. Rick Jones, starting pitcher. Good attributes. He's already got good stuff. Don't love the rest of this. But he's got good work ethic, and he's already got good stuff. He's a top player on the board. Let's look at Pat Rocket. High work ethic. Could develop into, well, what about, let's look at these catchers. Jonathan Astrof. Low adaptability, so if we asked him to move positions, that wouldn't work well. Jack Bastable, high work ethic. A little on the greedy side, but I'm looking at this, and I see someone who could potentially play 1, 2, like 4 positions. I might draft him for his versatility, and maybe he might develop a bat. He's got good work ethic, and he's a good base runner. OSA tends to not like a few of the defensive ratings, but now let's see. Going down here, obviously these are relievers. Yeah. I'm not really too keen on drafting relievers right now, so we're just not going to. What about Lynn McKinney? Kind of mediocre. Yeah, and it's pretty much across the board. So Rick Jones might be the pick here. He's a 17-year-old pitcher. He's got good work ethic. He's already got good stuff, so we're going to go ahead and draft him. Again, it's not like... Here, let's clear the filter. Yeah, Terry Harper's still here. There's a reason, by the way. Scouting director recommends Ron Selak. Starting pitcher, 2-star. Very good stamina. No, the work ethic, I don't trust. So we're not going to draft Selak. At this point, I kind of want to look at the work ethic filter. I really think I'm going to take Jack Bastable here, who is pretty good, like ratings-wise, defensively. It looks like at first, third, maybe center. Yeah, first, third. Well, probably more so. He doesn't have a great arm. Or maybe even Jonathan Astroth, who actually, you know what? I'm going to go Kerry Dineen here because I see someone who could be a good defensive outfielder and a good base runner. If he develops anything offensively, will be a touch. So we're going to draft him. This draft does not look like to be our best right now. Patrick Garvey, high stamina, good leadership. He's got... Like he can throw 4, 5. He has a 7-pitch mix, which is great, but none of them are good. What about? I'm liking someone like Michael Beck here. Well, he's not a great infielder. He would be a better outfielder, corner outfielder. I kind of like the idea of a catcher with good leadership. Phil Kanuki. He can't hit, and his defense is only suspect, but he's gonna. Well, let's see what the scouting system thinks. They think a little more about his defense than my scout does, and a little less about his base running, and the hitting's about the same. You're not drafting this guy for offense. What about Stephen Clancy down here? I'm looking at catchers right now because that's a position of need for my organization. Also starting pitching. So we might go Patrick Garvey here, but I don't like the lack of work ethic. Also would rather draft players who have a bit of maybe someone like Marty Perrell, who's a little below average hitter across the board. We'll take the catcher Bastable. All right, now we're in round 7. All right, they recommend the starting pitcher, and honestly, I have no objections at this point. So we'll Marty Perrell again. We like his work ethic, his leadership. He's okay. We'll go ahead and draft him. Jose Boston is a starting pitcher. Not much personality to speak of. Can't hit. He does have one average pitch. He's 15. Only difference here is they think a little more of a splitter. I ain't too keen about drafting a 15-year-old. That just seems weird to me. But I'll go with my scout there. Ramon McDonald, a third baseman, good leadership. He is a third baseman that he has no power. I think I'm going to find someone different. Let's see if we can look at I'm going to draft Bill Dancy here for the defense and base running. Okay, we'll draft him. That's fine. Ruben Garcia. Low intelligence, so we'll probably not draft him. We might make a run at one of these relievers. Jose Alfaro is the top on the board, but his low stamina. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot of starting pitching left in this draft. I mean, Jim Sanders down here is 80 stamina. He's only got a half a star. He's basically but I like his attributes. Or even Dennis Stegman. This is a 10th round pick. We have 40 rounds, so it doesn't. I almost think it doesn't really matter at this point who we draft. I really think. I think I stick to my guns as far as the ability to do this. We might get Kenneth Califano. High work ethic. He doesn't bring much to the table, but he does have stamina. So I'm going to draft him. Robert Palmer, catcher. High work ethic. We'll go ahead and draft him. Let's see if there's a better prospect out there than Scott Brown. I might go ahead and take Jose Alfaro here. We're in round 14, so I don't really think. Scott Brown again. I don't see any reason not to take him. That'll shut my scout up. David Lozano, second baseman, really good base runner. Let's see if there's a better option right now. Bill Bone, center fielder. Terry Irvin. I think I might draft Terry Irvin here. Recommended in the last round. We didn't take him last round, so we will go ahead and do that. Jim Lett. High adaptability, pretty good defensive corner infielder. Probably better third baseman than first baseman. He has the arm. Let's look at Glenn Arnett. Low leader, but not a good defender. James Beal. A little better defender, really good base runner. David Bewley. We have enough relievers in our organization, I think. Yeah, we have 45 relievers in our organization. I think we're good. We need more third basemen, so I think I might draft James Beal here. Even though Jim Litt's right here, but I think Beal's a better player. Maybe not actually. We'll take Jim Litt. David Thole, high school reliever. I'm gonna take James Beal. Akira Kawahara. Yes. Dwayne. Okay, a bunch of red flags there. Bunch of red flags. Let's go to the reliever route then. I'm going to draft Gregory Kastner. Okay, Eric Brown, not a great one. Philip Canucci here. Earl Chew. This is now the third time they recommended this guy. I'm betting this kind of guy who's going to have the outspoken personality trait, and I don't know how I feel about that. What about Fred Swanson? Honestly, don't love him. What about Paul Trammell? Dave Stablefeld. You know what? I might take him and hope he can develop into a decent something. Because he's at least got below average power, not terrible. Or even like a Robert Solinger. There's a lot of decent looking catchers on the board. I think they're going to make me take him. What about Leonard Davidson? Not really. Lawrence Hick has a good curveball. Henry Bernadette. Okay, I think we may have to bite the bullet here and start taking who they recommend. Actually, let's remove our filter. Don Whiting. He's pretty stupid, but... And... But could he be any worse than Dwayne Peltier? I'm going to pick Don Whiting. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and take him. You know what? There. Have at it. Marlon Styles. High intelligence. I like it. We're at round 26, y'all. Stephen Lanier. Oof, oof, and oof, oof, and oof, oof, and oof. In fact, I'm oofing so hard on that I'm taking Glenn Arnett. In fact, I'm going to oof so hard I'm going to take Ronald Jackson instead. Bernardo Leonard. Good fastball. That's all he's got, but good fastball. They still want us to take Stephen Lanier. I still think they should kick rocks. I think I'm going to take Jose Ceteno here. They still want me to take Lanier. I'm not going to take anyone with low work ethic. Roger DeLazer. Honestly, I love the Daniel name. We'll take that. I like the name Pucci Delgado. They still think Steve Lanier's the pick. I mean, he's about the only viable position player left. Rick Voskuhl. Not much to write home about, unfortunately. I'm going to take Dwight Adams. James Bandick. Kind of like him, actually. Steve Hagland. Okay. Randall Braxton. Low leader, but he does some things well. He's a second baseman. Oh. Byron Loomis. Okay, there we go. A little stupid, but he works hard, right? Looks like he could be a pretty decent infielder, too, with a little bit of development. Yeah, there we go. Dennis McCabe. Fine with me. I mean, at this point, we turn on our work ethic filter. It's like, at this point, I don't think it matters. Bobby Malone. All right, there we go. All right, draft's over. So we went through and drafted. Obviously, we'll negotiate with draftees. Looks like we accidentally we drafted our 9th round pick with a bonus, which is fine. We did go so far under slot that, you know, we did go so far under slot that it's not really going to matter that much. We went over on a couple. Some guys are willing to sign for $240, so that's going to help us out. That'll save us a little money. Okay. All right, so we hope to sign him soon. Again, we'll take a look at the trading block. Not a lot out there. I would like to upgrade third base and maybe get a starting pitcher. That way I can keep a couple guys in the pen. Okay. So I'm looking at the trading block. It's not very kind to me. I want to look at starting pitching. We'll probably sim a week, but right now this is the start of the trade block. Obviously, we put Phil Niekro on, but we may have to. I don't think there's an option here that would be better than Phil Niekro at 120K. We only put him on there for the 120K. So I'm not trying to trade him. I'm just trying to unload some salary a little bit. But we're doing fine salary-wise. We still have $689,000. So it's not like we can't take on a big-time contract. Let's go ahead and sim a week. We're about a week, 10 days away from the winter meeting. So we'll just go there. Okay, looks like 4 of our guys signed. We may have a couple still out there. Yeah. And one's kind of a difficult signing, and the other one maybe considering college. So trading block is still not very friendly to us. It looks like I'm wondering if I can run a trade. We'll start it with the winter meetings. Okay. Because we'll have a little more time. We can make we can be a little flexible with offers. Okay. So let's just go to the winter meetings. All right, we got another free agent signing. All right, winter meetings, and we got all our prospects. We got our draft is good. All right, so let's look at the trading block now, and so I want to swing a trade for Gaylord. Oh wait, we've already done this, right? Yeah, he's exercising his 10-5 here. So he will very likely refuse any trade that would pop up. So the other player that we've got is we can trade, let's see, Cleon Jones. He's outspoken. I just don't like the trade market right now. Ken Berry in Kansas City. He would be a solid player. He would be an elite center fielder. I really do need to upgrade my rotation. So let's look at Bill Hands. Serviceable. Okay. Let's look at the starting rotation. I wonder what it would take to get Jim Cott. Let's see. Yeah, I mean they don't have money issues. Oh, yeah, they don't have money issues. They're in a win now mode. I mean, Gary Alexander. He had a pretty good year in rookie ball, it looks like. But we could trade Buford for him. Buford actually turned out okay. He was replacement level, but he did what I wanted to. He got on first base at a pretty decent clip. Not as good as Minnesota, but my issue here is the salary discrepancy, and I can't really afford to take on. That would be about that's only about a $50,000 difference. Let me see if they're willing to throw in. Obviously, they're going to want Caldwell. Bill Gilbreth, he's not a starter. I'd be willing to part with him. Ron Hansen, Ron Hansen will be interesting because we got to find a spot for him. He expects to be in the starting lineup, but he didn't really play like he wanted to be in the starting lineup. He only hit like 192 for the year. He only hit 200 for us. Well, he only struck out about 10% of his plate appearances. He didn't walk a whole lot either. Well, he walked He walked at about a 12%, a little over 10% clip. I just wonder if he'll be able to recapture. He was a backup to this guy who had a bit of a down year in terms of production, even though he actually not really, just a little bit down in terms of getting on base. But his strength will always be defense, which is why he's there. Bill Gilbreth, honestly, that might be the move here. We've had him in the organization for a while. He's not going to be much more than he's a relief pitcher. Like if we were to trade Jim Cott, I would just trade for him, and then maybe even throw in Jim Barr. But Jim Barr would have been up here. Barr was not someone they were wanting, so I would have to include Jim Barr in a trade because I don't. He's the lowest rated player on my team, so and I don't. ERA is a 4 the last 2 years. Cott would be a better version of him. Not much, but this might be a trade I make, actually, and we would trade. I would probably go ahead and throw in. One of these starters who aren't really starters. Even though I'm not too keen on trading like pitching prospects, like I won't trade Hassler, but I would trade Gilbreth. Actually, probably would not even Gilbreth. Gilbreth could be a valuable piece of my bullpen. Maybe even someone like Dick Sharon, who is a prospect, but honestly, like he's kind of blocked. Or even Gene Wiley here. Hell, I'll throw in Gene Wiley. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll these ads, and we're going to come back. I'm going to make a trade. We're going to trade for. We're going to look at Jim Cott again. Yeah, Ray Washburn here of Houston could be a good. Well, he's not. Oh no, he's disruptive. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna run ads here. We're gonna make some trades. We're gonna make some trades and hopefully get some stuff going. I do appreciate y'all hanging out today, and we'll be back in like 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll make some trades. Hello, well back. So we're going to take a look at our left field situation. Don Buford here. He had the 340 on base for us. Most likely that I'm going to jettison out of here. Because I really feel like for 120,000 I could probably get a better value. Jimmy Wynn, and then also we do have Rusty Staub who can play a semi decent right field. He did struggle for us, but I wonder if we can massage him a little bit. Maybe we can get some value back for him. But we also have like Rogodzinski and Lazinski. These two guys could be a nice little platoon. So Buford is kind of expendable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and swing this trade. We're going to trade for Jim Cott. We're going to improve our rotation a little bit. And we're just going to trade Buford straight up. And we'll see. Let's look at their prospects. We might be able to get a prospect or two here. Honestly, I might just do it for the memes. But wait, look, Leo Mazzoni right here. Do we think... Okay, they'll take Leo Mazzoni. So we're going to get Leo Mazzoni too. And then John Cabral. You know what? I legitimately like him. We actually traded him away. We're going to get him back. And then what about even a lightly used Max Oliveras, who was... He's not my kind of player, though, so we're going to hold off on him. Okay, they won't do that. I was hoping we could get Orlando Alvarez, but he's actually got some bad personality traits. Honestly, there's not really anyone else. I mean, let's see what we could get. What about Mike Price down here? Honestly, he doesn't have much ability, so we'll pass on him. What, Don Warthen? No, he's not really a starter. I think these three will be fine. So Buford for Cott, Mazzoni, and Cabral. We'll go ahead and complete that trade. So now what we'll do is we'll probably go ahead and look at our pitching staff. That makes Jim Barr completely expendable. We will shop him. And we can get him for, you know what? Bobby Brown's not a bad consolation here. Second round pick a couple of years ago. He can play first, third, left, or right. He's got some pretty good power that could develop. He's not a center fielder, but we can move him off of that. He also hit pretty well in rookie ball. Other than that, it'll be relief pitchers. So I'm going to make the move for Bobby Brown here. And let's see what else we can get from them. Not Gene Pavlik. Russ Caldarella. He's a 15th round pick. Good power, but that's about it. No, he's got Ronald Falls. Since we could go ahead and put him on the 40. He's very angry though. Roll on team. He expects to be playing in the majors. He probably won't be playing in the majors for us either. So they don't want him. They don't want to get rid of him. That's fine. So we'll trade Jim Barr for Bobby Brown. He's a rookie league player. He's actually not even a prospect, it looks like. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. We're wheeling and dealing. Okay, so now our rotation will be let's see, Jim Cott, and we'll go ahead and put Leo Mazzoni on the big league roster for now. Let's see. Now we can go to pitching staff. So right now we have Cott, Caldwell, Figueroa, Hunter, and Phil Necro, with Ken Brett being a long guy. We can just put Jim Cott here. Jim Cott would be the 5 that we can move. Ken Brett would be there. Because I anticipate Figueroa or Catfish or one of these older guys kind of getting a little worse. So now let's look at our lineup as of right now. Catcher, we're kind of set here. I'm not going to be able to improve that. First base, we have some combination of Doug DeCences. We've got a bunch of quality first basemen here. In fact, we might be able to trade. We might be able to kind of couple a couple of these guys and maybe get a better player. But we have Willie Stargell right now who can play first. We've been running with that one anyways. Second base, we've been running with Junior Kennedy. I don't feel confident about that one going forward. He is a really good defender, though. Not much of an on-base guy, though, so we need to monitor our second base situation. Dave Rosello could bounce back after a pretty rough big league season. Maybe we start him in the minors. He did play really well at the end of the year in AAA. We also have Ron Hansen who could play second base. So that might be the move, is just slide Ron Hansen in at second to start, or even Lucky Thompson, or one of these three. So we'll have a bit of a battle there. Third base has been Doug DeCences at home, but I kind of want to move him to first at some point. We've been using a defensive sub there. Shortstop is settled. Left field, we're going to run with, Jimmy Wynn in right. So we're going to go ahead and hard code him as a right fielder for next year. He will be our right fielder. Center field, right now we're running with Royal Stillman. I might keep Dave Arrington on the roster for next year. At 24, he's kind of ready. He's not going to hit for much, but again, let's look at his splits. He doesn't have any platoon splits, but we could look. We could look at that. But I'm ready to rock a Arrington, Stillman, or even like Stillman and like Jimmy Wynn or something. Right field, we probably need to teach Rusty Staub left field. I don't know why he couldn't play left field. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to hard code him in left. And we're going to go to his strategy, and we're going to force start left field. We're going to make him learn left field. He's got the arm for left, but his range is such that he would be a liability in right. So really, if we look at our lineup right now, just kind of looking at like what we need, I may just go ahead and hard code Jimmy Wynn in right, Staub in left, and that'll put Royal Stillman in center. We are going to probably end up platooning Willie Stargell. At least the beginning. Rogodzinski is a bench bat. He will probably stay on the team because he can't play left field, believe it or not. So he is a left-handed hitter. All right, so let's look at what's out there right now. Let's look at the trade block. See if there's anyone out there. We can pull Willie Stargell from the trade block. I still kind of want to trade him at some point, but kind of want to trade him at some point. But I don't really. Let's look at batters. Again, he doesn't really solve any problems. Let's see. Willie Horton would be nice. He doesn't really bring anything new that we don't already have in like 3 positions, and he cost a bit. And I don't think. Let's just go ahead and sim. Let me see. Yeah. While I'm here, might as well check player development. Everybody's frustrated. Okay, so not much going on there. I just want to see him be able to get on first a little better. I want to see something. He turned out to be a pretty good player for the Angels. Okay. Grover Ellis is on track. Yeah, I don't really see. Okay, so let's just go ahead and winter meetings end. We'll read this important message. We'll autoplay to next week. Read important message. Let's cast our ballot for the Hall of Fame. Richie Ashburn. Whitey Ford. Nellie Fox. Minnie Minoso. Pee Wee Reese. Ina Slaughter. And we'll go Roy Campanella. Gil Hodges. All right, there we go. We'll submit our ballot. There we go. All right, so we submitted our ballot for the Hall of Fame. That's good. We'll look at the trading block. Again, we're just going to look this once a week because I don't feel like there's a whole lot of trades I can make right now that would make my team better. We could look at some teams that are having some money issues and try to fleece them a little bit. But I don't see a whole lot of that right now. We could look. Let's see how the teams are looking financially. Right now, we got about 566. So, let's see. Braves are 830. Orioles are at 270. Boston's at 900K. California is below. Chicago's basically even. The Cubs are way below, which is weird because they're not even good. Cincinnati is good. Cleveland is basically even. Detroit is good. Houston. Kansas City's basically breaking even. See the Dodgers. Brewers are 118. Twins are almost 2 million. Yankees are at 800,000. Mets are 1.6. Oakland is in the red. So Oakland and the Cubs are probably going to be our best bet to sell off some pieces. Pittsburgh's up 1.3. San Diego's got 392. San Francisco's 1.7. St. Louis is 1.5. Texas is in the red. So let's look at Texas. Let's look at their roster. Let's look at their team. Who do they got that we could take? Bob Boone. You know what? I'm not going to lie. Bob Boone looks like an attractive catcher for us. What does our head scout think? Our head scout likes him. Let's see if we can trade for him. All right, Cross. Have a good day at work. Okay. Thank you for joining. Okay, so they're offering... Okay, so it would take... They want Gene Garber, so they're not letting us fleece. What if we give them, instead of that, let's see if we add 100,000. So basically, okay, so it would still take kind of a small army. So we're probably not going to make that trade. Let's see. Tom Grieve? Probably won't work, but yeah, they didn't think so. Dell Unser, their center fielder. Been a pretty good player. He's 27. Not really a power hitter, though. Let's see. Well, he would play. He would. About pitching. Dick Bozeman. Probably be the most likely option here, but yeah, it wouldn't work. Let's look at the Cubs. Kurt Buffleri. They picked him up from Baltimore. I don't think much of him, actually. Let's see. Dave Rader. We've, I think, scouted him before. Oh, he's a 10-5. Never mind. Okay. Adolfo Phillips might be the most likely option for us here. But and he is on their block. He'd be a right-handed bat, but unfortunately, we've looked at him, and I don't think he would provide much value for us. I think we're just going to stay on pat. Yeah. Billy Williams is on the block for the Cubs. He doesn't really feel a need for us, and he was really bad last year. So while he would be a popular player, he just doesn't really do much. Trade block hasn't really changed. Nothing really grabbing my attention right now that makes me want to say, oh yeah, we got to have that player. I think we've got enough to stand right now. The one player that I might be willing to make a move for is Ron Hansen because he's expecting to start. He has high work ethic. I don't think he would be a disruptive presence in the clubhouse. But I just wonder, with a full season, would this team do better? It is weird that I'm going into a season where I basically made one move. Let's look at our AAA team. Like, we've got, well, Roy Howell. He's already AAA caliber. This is something we may want to monitor here because he might play early. John Harbin, another player who might play early. He would play shortstop. He's not a great shortstop. Could he play third? I might try him at third base. Well, he's not the best hitter in the world. If he were a better hitter, Pete Makinen is what he is at this point. He is what he is. Tom Poquette, we picked him up in a trade. I'm looking to see what my prospect options are. Rod Gilbreth, Luis Gonzalez, Humphrey Munoz, Frank Taveras, Jerry White. None of those players are ever going to play in the big leagues, I don't think. David Edwards right now is probably the one player I have that I probably need to monitor a little bit. He's going to start in A-ball, I think, because he didn't play that well in AA, so I might send him back down. But maybe even Wilmer Aaron. But he's going to have to develop a little bit, I think. I'm really thinking about, and then Willie Randolph down here, who is, tell you what, my high level teams are really killing it. But I do need to get these guys out of this level as soon as I can to get them exposed to better coaching. Especially someone like Roy Howell, or even like, well, we'll see. Let's look at our pitching staff. Basically what I'm saying is I'm willing to actually go into the season with who I have. Especially since, like, if we look at how we were last year, I mean, we were third in runs scored. So, and we improved. We were sixth in runs allowed. So we probably needed to improve our rotation. We got Jim Cott to improve our rotation. I'm hoping with another year of Caldwell, Figueroa might get a little better. And then Catfish Hunters might get a little better. He did surrender the fewest amount of home runs, but, and Phil Necro being, really the key is here is Caldwell. Cott, Ammo Yet will be my backup kind of swing guys, and then everybody else will be pretty much swinging around. We might make a move here on Aurelio Lopez. I'm wondering, because he kind of struggled last year. We're going to go back, by the way. We're not going to use the closer setup. We're going to go to this guy right here being the best closer was not the develop I had in mind. He's basically replacement level, but look at this stuff. We need to look at his okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and sim through. We're just going to sim through the end of the year. Oh, we got the Rule 5 draft. So we'll go to the Rule 5 draft. All right, so we'll go to the Rule 5 draft, and we'll kind of end after this. We have the 10th pick in the Rule 5 draft. Oh, shoot. You know what I didn't do? Hold on. Can I still reserve guys? Rule 5 eligible. We may have to DFA some guys. Yeah, okay, so we're going to DFA a few people real fast. We're going to DFA Bobby Brooks. Waive and designate for assignment. Same with Jim Krimmel. We're going to go ahead and waive and DFA him, even though, as loath as I am to give up anybody who could potentially have potential as a pitcher, I don't think he's going to be much good. So we're going to waive and DFA him. And then we're going to go ahead and put Dick Sharon for sure. And then one of these relievers. Obviously, not all of them, but let's see. I'm thinking Grover Ellis because we got him on a training regiment right now. So we're going to go ahead and put Grover Ellis on there. Put him on the 40. Everybody else, I am fine with Luke. Bill Gilbreth. He's 25. I mean, yeah, he's not really. I'm fine if we lose him. Yep. So that's going to be it. I still think I have a good team. We just got to put the pieces together. Frank Tavares is on the 40. I don't know why. Oh, he played 3 games for us last year, so he's staying on the 40. That was a dumb idea. I don't know why I did that. Okay. All right, so we protected who we're going to protect. Let's go ahead and go to the Rule 5 draft. We'll auto draft. We'll probably lose some players. Yeah, Bill Gilbert got picked. Not shocked. Let's see if there's anybody here. Michael O'Connor. Now remember, whoever we pick in the Rule 5 draft, we have to keep. Michael O'Connor. He's on our team. Never mind. So why would we take him? Honestly, there's no one here I would pick. And yeah, we're going to skip this pick. So we're going to skip the Rule 5 draft. We're just going to skip it altogether. Okay. So we did lose a player in the Rule 5 draft. That's fine. So now, after the Rule 5 draft, this is our team. This is our pitching staff. Let's look at it by our starters. Caldwell, Hunter. We got a solid rotation. Relievers. I think this is a good batch of relievers. We'll probably have to make some decisions about who we keep because we have 16 pitchers right now. Let's go to catcher. We got 3 catchers who can play in the big leagues. First base. This is going to be kind of interesting as we go forward. We're going to go ahead and end stream here in a few minutes. I'm just going to end it here. I don't think I'm going to make any more moves this offseason unless I'm like compelled to. But we've got like I've got Lazinski, Stoner. We got Willie Stargell will probably play first base. I'm trying to kind of might offset him because he did struggle for us a little bit. And I don't think he's going to maintain his 3.5-star rating. Even if he drops down a little bit in power, he'll still hit well for us. But the one position that worries me is second base. And that's because I got a lot of parts I don't like. Like we got Ron Hansen. It's going to be between Ron Hansen, Junior Kennedy, Dave Rosello, and Lucky Thompson. We're going to have a 4-way battle at training camp. Third base, we'll likely use Doug DeCinces here. Maybe even there. And then left field, we're going to run with Rusty Staub. He's gonna learn left field. He doesn't have a left field rating, but he's got enough. And then center, we're going to run with Royal Stillman in a platoon role. Even though he doesn't lose a whole lot, we might see if we can get a right-handed center field bat. We do have Dave Arrington who can do that. So what I'm kind of hoping is that maybe in camp he will hit like he did in AAA, where he hit 60 home runs the last 2 years. He's hit 70 home runs in AAA. Looking at his ratings, he doesn't necessarily have a big platoon split, but his power comes from against lefties. And his OSA rating agrees. And he's a very good defensive outfielder, particularly in the corners. But if not, we can kind of figure something out with, say, using Lazinski like we did last year. If we don't use him at first base. Right field will be Jimmy Wynn. It's his best position. We're gonna leave him there. He was a 6-win player for us last year. So we'll figure out our lineup and stuff for next year. I'm thinking, ideally, we're kind of waiting on Willie Randolph a bit here, aren't we? For this position, aren't we? So I'm gonna go ahead and sim to the end of the year. We gotta throw some guys into the organization. So let's go into waivers, and these guys cleared waivers. That's an interesting thing. They mentioned that they cleared waivers. We'll put them in AA. Wait. Move players to the lower section as player, but remove them from waivers. If you tried moving players, it also doesn't. Oh, there we go. There. Bobby Brooks has been in our organization for a while. We had a chance to trade him. We probably should have. All right, let's just go ahead and... It's Christmas Day, by the way. All right. So I think we're at the first of the year now. Yeah, we're at January 1st. So I want to see something real fast. Okay. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end stream here. We're at 2 hours. It's 4:18. I'm kind of hungry. So let's look at the trading block as we hit his first. It doesn't look like it's changed much. Really do think I need to make some moves, but honestly, standing pat might be my best option. So we'll go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and save it, and I'm gonna log off. We'll see how we do next year. We'll see how we do next year in this game. We're in 1973 now. I'm kind of intrigued by what I have. See how it goes. Honestly, standing pat, I feel weird kind of doing it, but I think it's the best I can do for now. Nothing in the trading block really invigorated me to make a bunch of moves. So we'll be back on definitely Monday. We'll be back on next week with some stuff over on Twitch. Might hop on Saturday. We'll see what I'm going to do. I really got the itch to play Supermarket Simulator again, especially now that you can beat customers with baseball bats, which, quite frankly, working in retail for the last decade and a half, sounds like a fun idea. Don't tell anyone I said that. Anyways, I'm going to get on out of here. So maybe Saturday, follow socials. I'm going to have to clean this up a little bit, but I do have my links there if you want to click through that. Maybe I'll just put the link to Bluesky, which is my main communication channel these days. But if I do go live Saturday, it'll be in the afternoon, early evening. But thanks for hanging out. I'll see y'all around Twitch. Y'all have a good rest of your day. And take care.